Welcome back everybody. This is part 39 on What If Kid Asta Meets Noelle's Mother. I do not own Black Clover or any of the characters in this video. They belong to their own respected authors. Chapter 48. Flashback. Around 1 month prior. Hey guys, I'm back, Asta hollered, coming in the manor excitedly. And guess, face slammed against Asta's face, clutching his nose. Run man, run while you have the chance, the spirit yelled to him. Huh? Asta questioned in confusion. What do you mean, Faye? I'd listen to him if I were you. Lick spoke up from behind a chair. Asta. The group heard Noelle scream or yell from upstairs, her footsteps making an angry stomping sound as she strutted down the upstairs hallway and towards the stairs. You're so dead, licked Kane. Lieb, Faye, and even Asta felt chills down their spines as a result of Noelle's loud yelling. Almost immediately after hearing Noelle's angry scream, both Kane and his father began to leave the Silva Manor and head outside. Oh God, she made it to the stairs. Run, Faye yelled, flying away. Asta, still in shock, didn't register until Noelle was at the last 3 steps of the stairs. Internally panicking, Asta quickly put his newly acquired grimoire into the satchel and began to run. I've never seen, or rather heard, Noelle this angry before. Asta cried out, then he found Ren nonchalantly sitting at the garden, cleaning her sword and phased by the screams. Ren, help me out here. You brought this upon your thirsty self. I have nothing to do with this, Ren stated, not even looking up from her sword. Come on, Asta pleaded. I need help. I'd rather not die yet. Oh, she's not gonna kill you. Ren rolled her eyes. Beat you up maybe, but not kill you. Asta's panicked expression didn't falter as he heard Noelle going around the house looking for him. Where are you, Asta? Noelle grit her teeth, still inside House Silva looking for Asta. Once I find you, you're Sue getting it. Still outside the manor, Asta's panicking didn't cease. He looked around again before turning to face Ren again. What should I do? He asked her. Going back inside isn't an option, and it's only a matter of time until Noelle comes outside looking for me. I say accept your fate, Ren replied, putting away her cloth. Asta just gaped at her in disbelief. Wah, Asta nearly shouted. You want me to get punched into oblivion by Noelle? Like I said, she isn't gonna kill you and leave her all alone with the children in her belly, Ren replied simply, sheathing her sword. Asta pondered Ren's response and nodded. Yeah, Noelle isn't the type of person to do that, Asta remarked. She's ultimately too caring, and I do love her for that. Unfortunately, while the two were talking, Noelle had eventually found a window that showed where Asta and Ren were. Not only that, but it was another door that led to the outside. As a result, the only thing that heard was the door being opened quickly. Asta, Noelle yelled, making Asta yelp. She found me, Asta yelled. Ren Asta gaped to see Ren gone. Traitor, he added with a yell. Noelle on the other hand didn't even notice Ren had left. Her sole attention at this given moment was on Asta, and to give him a little pummeling for unintentionally making her pregnant with triplets. Now of course, had it been a single baby, or even twins, Noelle would have understood. After all, her mother gave birth to 4 children in total, not at once but over time, mind you, so in her mind, it'd make sense why she and Nibra could potentially end up having a lot of children when they married, but 3 at once? Nope. She soon approached Asta, right fist raised and ready to strike. Asta, despite being fearful, understood Noelle's reasons for wanting to do this to him. Time to give you a little bit of, Noelle began. However, before she can finish her anger-fueled statement, she feels a kick. This of course caused her to stop and stagger backwards, as well as wince in pain. Noelle, are you okay? Asta gasped, running to his wife. Suddenly, she grabbed his collar, making him yelp, face to face with her glare. We are gonna have a talk, she hissed. Yes ma'am, he yelped. Flashback end. Wait, that actually happened. You know, asked as he talked to Ren via her communication device while Asta, Lieb, Licht, and Kane were sparring outside. Noelle sitting next to Ren in her own lawn chair watching the 4 boys spar. Yup, word for word. Ren nodded, looking up. Uncle to your left. Oh, got him right on the flank, Lieb. She was ready to hunt. Faye added to Yuno. Oh damn, Yuno remarked. I'm actually kind of glad that she didn't, but at the same time, kind of wish she did. I just wasn't jumping in on that. I'd like to live, thank you. Ren shrugged. True enough, Yuno agreed. He paused, then continued, as if he remembered something. Oh yeah, now I remember what I wanted to bring up to you whenever we spoke next, which we're doing right now. What's up? She asked curiously. Mimosa told me that the Black Bulls and Blue Rose Knights are going to be training together, began before he chuckled. Well actually, it's more like Vice Captain Scarlet's idea for the two Magic Knight squads to train together. She has her reasons for it. Ren just laughed at Yuno's words. Her lips slowly curled upwards and into a grin or smirk in amusement at the sight of it. Training to help with the Mana method and tease Charlotte with her love life, a 2-for-1 deal. Ren smirked. Indeed, Yuno agreed. Though as I said earlier, Mimosa told me of it, and I was wondering if you'd like to come with me to watch it. Maybe you could even give some pointers if need be. Oh, Ren wondered aloud. Yeah, Yuno nodded. That is, if you're interested, and if Asta and Noelle's stupid rules on you would allow you to come. Ren's sweat dropped. She knew Yuno was not fond of the rules Asta and Noelle set up for her during her stay in the Silva house. She wasn't fond of the restraint herself, but she was a guest, so she couldn't truly complain. I'm sure it'll be fine, she simply said. So, ask them then, Yuno asked curiously. Smiling at his impatience, she looked up, calling out, Asta Noelle, I'm going to visit the Blue Rose with Yuno. She told them. Asta unfortunately didn't hear Ren due to him sparring Lieb, Kane, and Licht in a free-for-all. Noelle on the other hand, did hear Ren. She looked over at Ren while sitting in her lawn chair and nodded. Sure thing Ren. Noelle smiled lightly. I'll tell Asta whenever he and the other boys finish. Thanks, Ren smiled, looking back at her communicator. I'll meet you at the Blue Rose. Great, Yuno grinned, and according to Mimosa, the two squads are meeting up at the borderline between the common and noble realms. Then I'll meet you there, Ren replied, standing. Yuno hummed before hanging up. Ren fiddled with her stone for a moment before letting her light wings form and flew off. Noelle watched Ren fly off into the sky. Before turning her attention back to Asta, Lieb, Kane, and Licht's spar, Ren flew in the skies, enjoying the feeling of the wind as she flew near the borderline. Looking over. As she flew, she could see where the Blue Rose Knights and Black Bulls were located. At the same time, Yuno appears next to her and taps her shoulder. Hey, he smiled. You caught up rather fast, and I flew off to get here while near the end of our call. Yuno then chuckled before adding, though to be fair, elf-human hybrid, 2 magic attributes, one of them being light magic. So yeah, Ren smiled and happily hugged Yuno. Let's just say we were both excited to see each other. Agreed? She asked. Agreed. Yuno nodded. Now then, let's see how they're doing down there, right behind you. She smiled. Yuno nodded, then flew down towards the ground, with Ren behind him. The closer they got to the ground, they began to hear the Blue Rose Knights and Black Bulls cheering. Huh, what are they cheering about? Yuno wondered aloud as he landed on the ground. Ren looked closely as she followed. Yuno hummed as he continued walking. I hear some of the Blue Rose Knights and Black Bulls. Looks like some spars going on. Explains the cheering. Ren remarked. Come on Char. Yuno and Ren heard coming from what appeared to be from the Blue Rose Knights side of the area. I told you to call me Captain Saul. Focus on the spar, Charlotte, Scarlet told her older sister while grinning. You wouldn't want to get too distracted and lose to your boyfriend, right? And there it is. Ren giggled. Not even Yuno could resist laughing as they approached. Some of the magic knights from both squads turned and took notice of them. Hey Yuno. Hey Ren. Luck grinned. What brings you to here? Figured we come to see how the training is going. Ren smiled, before grinning, and torture Charlotte a little. Oh good. Scarlet grinned. Scarlet. Charlotte groaned loudly before evading Yami's dark magic. Dark cloaked black blade spell. You should focus on the attacks instead of your boyfriend's muscles. Charlotte. Ren cooed, making them laugh. Charlotte just hissed in irritation and created a sword via her briar magic and swung at Yami with it. Yami parried the strike with ease, then came at her again with another dark magic spell. Dark magic. Dark cloak die slash, to be accurate. Though luckily Charlotte evaded, well, most of it. Some parts of the spell still got her in the chest area, and she staggered backward as a result. Some blood trickled out of the wound, though Charlotte ultimately ignored it for the teamy being, the molecule magic angel, Oriel in control of Grey's body. Watched from the sidelines with the other Black Bulls. Go, Captain Yami. Magna grinned. What's the matter, prickly princess? Yami? Asked Charlotte. Not used to fighting against me or something? Hardly. Charlotte retorted with a scoff. I just needed you to be close enough for this. You should remember it, without saying anything else. Blue roses with thorns rose out of the ground around the two captains. Yami looked around and noticed what was going on. He just grinned. So you're using modified briar magic. Blue rose paradise on me, huh? Yami remarked as the spell ensnared him. If it means I get to end this silly spar suggestion made by Saul and your squad mates, then I will, Charlotte retorted. Oh, that much in a hurry to tie your man down and pin him to a... Don't you finish that sentence, Charlotte shrieked at Ren, her face now bright red. Scarlet snickered in amusement. Haha, nice going, Ren. The younger Roselli grinned. Why you too? Charlotte groaned loudly again. During this time, however, Yami slashed himself free and leapt at Charlotte. Surprised, Charlotte couldn't react fast enough and felt Yami's katana at her throat. Looks like I win, prickly princess. Yami told her. Charlotte groaned, then turned to Ren and Scarlet, glaring lightly. I blame you two for this, she hissed. Love you to Charlotte. Scarlet grinned. I regret nothing. Ren smiled. Ugh, Charlotte groaned loudly. Mind telling us why you two are here? Yeah, I was wondering that too, Yami remarked as he sheathed his katana. How come Golden Dawn Boy and Miss Elysia tribe leader are here? Shouldn't you to be? Oh, I dunno. Locked up in a bedroom doing it is whatever a man and woman do when in a relationship? Oh yes, like anyone could get any privacy in this kingdom. Ren rolled her eyes, while Belle and Faye laughed loudly. Pfft, Belle snickered. Hilarious. She's not wrong, haha. Faye laughed. Ugh, Charlotte groaned loudly again. Impossible. All of you. You're a magic knight. It's part of the job description and I get to train you for it. Ren smirked wickedly. Train me for what? Charlotte asked. Well, regardless, I'm glad you two are here. Oriel spoke up, drawing the attention from Charlotte and to her instead. Based on what you saw, do you have any sort of pointers to give the magic knights here being trained by me for the time being? I could give a few. Though that depends whether or not I should be worried if that hyperactive lightning boy that is sparking over there is gonna jump me for a fight, Ren replied, motioning to Luck as she said this. Wah, aw come on. Luck pouted, realizing that Ren was talking about him. I can't help it. Okay, I like fighting strong opponents. Behave and I'll be teaching you enough mana method to utilize proper true lightning magic. Ren smirked. Luck pondered the idea. Then his grin returned. Alright. Luck smiled crazily. Are you trying to kill us? The black bulls gaped at Ren. Come along now everyone. Ren promptly ignored the question to clap her hands. We got learning to do. Oriel nodded at Ren's words. I'll let Grey take over now. She spoke. Afterwards, Oriel disappeared into Grey's grimoire, thus returning the light bluette to control of the body. Huh? Grey stammered in slight confusion. Looking around. Where am I? She continued to look around, realizing where she was. Oh, right. The Black Bulls and the Blue Rose Knights are training together. Not long after Ren had left, I'd wager around an hour or so, Noelle and Asta were now back inside House Silva, particularly their shared office where they were finishing up 2 small packets of paperwork each. After a few more pages of the small packets, Noelle spoke up. I know Ren doesn't like us doing paperwork, but these packets are quite small, Noelle noted. Asta looked over at Noelle and nodded. Yeah, he agreed before frowning, though if I recall correctly, she's not a fan of you doing paperwork. Noelle rolled her eyes in slight irritation, but still understood Ren's reasoning. Oh, I know, she remarked. Tell you what, I'll do 3 or so more pages, then I'll head upstairs to lie down. Sounds good? Yes, it does, Asta agreed. Not long after he said that, his stomach growled. I'll go grab something to eat real quick. I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. All right, Asta, Noelle hummed, continuing to work. Don't do my side of the paperwork while I'm gone, all right? Asta told her as he left. Noelle rolled her eyes again, but had a smile on her face this time. I won't, Dorksta, Noelle remarked, though she knew Asta couldn't hear her. Now that he had left the room and all, she glanced out the window to see Licht and Kane still training before returning to the paperwork on her desk. Just as she went back to work, Father is here, Solid yelled, his voice echoing throughout the house. This is not a joke. Father is here. Noelle half heard Solid as he ran through the hallways of the house. After about a few minutes, someone walks into her and Asta's office. Said office used to be her mother's before it got renovated for her and Asta to use as the heads of House Silva. Hello, Noelle. Noelle knew the voice all too well. Her father had entered the room. Hello, Father. Noelle spoke lightly, trying to keep her attention on the paperwork on the desk in front of her. Her father took notice of this, and approached and looked over the paperwork curiously. Ray mused. I must say that I'm quite impressed with you. And here I thought Nozel would have taken the head of house position after your mother stood down from both that and the captain status. Noelle continued to work on the paperwork, though glanced up at her father occasionally while continuing to work. After another minute or so, Ray spoke again. Speaking of which, if you're head of house, who's the captain of the Silver Eagles? Noelle is father, Noelle answered. And I'm not the only head of House Silva. Hesitantly, she lifted her right hand up to reveal a ring on her right hand's ring finger. I'm married. This news surprised Ray slightly. He knew that one of his children would become head of house and/or captain of the Silver Eagles after Asir stepped down, but he hadn't considered the possibility of one of his children marrying to gain the position of head of house. Though he quickly recovered from the surprise, his smile still remained on his face. As I said, I'm impressed by you, Ray told his youngest daughter. As for me, I finished a mission the Wizard King gave me. Mission? Noelle repeated. What mission was that? Oh, something the Wizard King needed me to do, Ray remarked coolly. I just figured I'd see my family beforehand. Is that so wrong? I suppose not, Noelle answered, continuing to work while occasionally looking up at her father. Though the mission was important, shouldn't you head for the Wizard King's office? While Noelle asked this question just as she finished her small packet of paperwork, Ray eventually took notice of Noelle's baby bump as she turned her chair around. Who's the father of your child, Noelle? Ray asked, almost ignoring Noelle's question. Noelle winced at the question, though Ray just took it as her wincing because the baby kicked. Regardless, he waited for her answer. Just as Noelle opened her mouth to answer, Asta returned to the room. Yum. Asta grinned, wiping his face off in regards to the snack he had as a break from the work. Ray glanced over at Asta and frowned deeply. His frown deepened even more after noticing the ring on Asta's own right hand's ring finger. So, this is who Noelle married, Ray thought, his anger slowly increasing. Such a disappointment, Ray spoke lowly. I would have understood had this boy been just a visitor, but this, gesturing to both the rings on Asta and Noelle's ring fingers, is a complete tarnishment to House Silva. I knew Asir going on that mission to rescue some peasant mother's child was a horrible idea, but no, she does it anyway. Noelle winced at her father's words and the anger that went with them. Asta knelt down to Noelle and whispered to her. Who's this guy? He whispered. He has noelle, Nibra, and Solid's hairstyle, but has Nibra and your pink eyes. Noelle looked up at Asta and mouthed to him, that's because he's my father, Asta. Asta's green eyes widened in surprise, but at the same time, he understood and noticed the resemblance between the two. Still, Asta whispered back, he shouldn't be treating you like that. Father comes from a generation where the royals and nobles were on top of the totem pole, Noelle whispered back, so me being married to you, well, who even allowed you to marry? Ray demanded, surprisingly missing what Asta and Noelle were whispering about. Just as importantly, who set you two up to be married in the first place? He paused, then continued before Asta or Noelle could reply. Oh, that's right, Asir set you two up. She always had a thing for playing matchmaker, and now she's set her own house down a path of failure by allowing one of her royal children to marry a peasant boy. Absolutely disgusting. His water magic grimoire appeared in front of him, its pages turning. Allow me to fix that. He looked between Asta and Noelle, wondering which one would be a more devastating blow. Noelle raised her hands up to cast a defensive spell should she need it, while Asta stood in front of his wife, realizing that Noelle's father went straight for hostilities and the offensive. Hey, Asta snapped. Noelle's your daughter, damn it. He doesn't care, quite frankly. He never really gave a damn about me, or even noelle, Solid, or Nibra, leaving either mother or the nannies to raise us. Noelle frowned. Asta glanced over at Noelle, his green eyes widening slightly. What? Why? Asta asked Noelle. Noelle shook her head. I don't know why. Noelle spoke softly. And I'll be taking back House Silva to its glory, Ray vowed. Water magic. Stingray needles. Stingray needles appeared in front of Ray before being launched at Asta and Noelle. I was going to strike Noelle first, but why attack one of you when I can just go for both of you? Asta shed in irritation as the needles came closer. Ray added, before Asta or Noelle could speak, oh, and by the way, the needles are quite special. You see, upon contact, they nullify the use of magic for 1 hour for each needle that pierces your skin. Then how about you try it? Vortex magic. Reverse cyclone. All three gasped as a whirlwind cyclone appeared in front of Noelle and Asta, taking in the needles to launch them at Ray. Ray growled in anger and rolled out of the way, and his own spell pierced the wall of the office. Afterwards, he looked up to see an elf-human hybrid male standing at the door's threshold. Who the hell are you? Ray demanded. And more importantly, how dare you interrupt family business? Asta and Noelle turned around to face Kane. surprise, but also relief written on their faces. Ray's anger began to increase, his mana flaring. Despite that, Asta and Noelle ignored his flaring anger. Then lucky for me, I am family. Though it's unfortunate I'm related to you. Cain deadpanned at Ray. Humph. Ray grunted irritably. Well, since the new heads of house will not listen and understand how ridiculous this is, then I'll just go and report my mission at Clover Castle now. Fine, but don't bother complaining about it, because your wife is the new queen, so you got no say with those two, Cain stated, making Ray even more furious. Asir is the new Clover Kingdom queen, huh? Ray spoke lowly, while rubbing his non-existent beard. I see, and warning you now. Try anything, and hell will be hunting you down for your head. Of course, you don't need to listen to me. Cain shrugged. Ray humphed, then strutted out of the office. We shall see about that, Ray remarked coldly. Shortly after that, he left the house. After he left, Cain turned his attention to Asta and Noelle. You two okay? Cain asked Noelle and Asta. Yeah, Noelle spoke softly. I'm okay. Same here, Asta nodded, though I don't know what the heck that was about. What was Noelle's father trying to accomplish by coming here? Judging from what I've been hearing, he probably didn't know anything. Since he was on that mission apparently, which means he didn't know about your marriage, new headship, or about Asir being queen, and judging by his actions, he's no doubt another one of those moronic royals and purebloods who treat commoners like crap. Cain shrugged, getting his communicator. So the usual, right? Noelle spoke softly. Are you calling Ren Cain? Asta asked him. Oh yeah, no doubt that guy is going for Asir, and well, I figured I would inform my dear sweet batshit terrifying niece about it. Cain smiled, making the to shudder. Aha, Asta shuddered. Ren is quite terrifying when she wants to be. Yeah, Noelle agreed, but despite all that, she has that kind side about her too, so the two sides balance her out. Yeah, doesn't mean she doesn't scare people to the point people think, am I gonna die today? Cause let's be real, at least 2 Golden Dawn have thought it, Cain replied. And I know which 2 Golden Dawn members you're talking about, Asta remarked. Alec-Dora and Langris. I mean in general, but yeah, them too. Cain nodded as he dialed. Should me and Asta stay for the call? Noelle asked the male elf-human hybrid. Depends if you want to get scared or not. Cain deadpanned. Noelle chuckled awkwardly at that as Asta picked Noelle up, to which Noelle didn't go against. Me and Noelle will be going to bed now, Asta told Cain as he began to walk out of the office while carrying Noelle. Feel free to tell Ren that me and Noelle finished the last 2 small packets of paperwork. He paused, wanting to add more, but decided not to. The other thing he wanted to talk about was towards Noelle specifically. Not long after that, he went down the hallway and went up the stairs to his and Noelle's bedroom. Asir looked over the last of the paperwork, with a satisfied hum before setting it down and stored it away to be sent out later. Finally caught up with the work, she stretched. Good, so now we can talk. Asir grew wide-eyed, looking up to see Ray walking in. Ray? Asir questioned. The last time I saw you, Noelle had just been born, or was it when I was pregnant with Noelle? She shook her head. Either way, it's been over a decade. Where have you been all this time? I was on a mission from the Wizard King, Ray answered. At his reply, Asir raised an eyebrow in disbelief. For all of Noelle's childhood, she asked curiously. I don't recall missions taking that long to finish. That doesn't matter. What does is that you had her marry a peasant. He scowled. Yes, I did, Queen Asir remarked. And not because of arranged marriage crap, but because I know Asta and Noelle love each other. All I did was simply push them along in the right direction. Besides, I'm planning to tear down this ridiculous status quo that is dragging the Clover Kingdom through the mud. And you can thank House Kira for allowing said status quo to exist for so long. She stood up from her office desk chair, then continued. Why should it matter what class of citizen you are? Why should that matter towards who you marry, the friends you make, and the person you fall in love with should be your own choice, not by the choice of a noble or royal choosing the future husband or wife. Their kids have. In that light, the kids don't have a future to call their own. Is that the world you want? Is that something you want to grow and thrive? Ray took in Asir's words, but the more he took in, the more angrier he became. Eventually, he became so angry that his lips twisted into a dark smile and he began to laugh. Ha 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 ha, he laughed. Do you even know how pathetic you sound? I always knew that your ideologies made you weak compared to the rest of our family. And here we go all over again. Asir sighed, pinching the bridge of her nose. No, seriously, Ray began. It's people like you that think peaceful solutions can actually happen. If you want change, it must be done as swiftly as possible. There's also the fact you think removing discrimination will actually happen. He shrugged. But that's a minor detail really. Though I suppose I just don't get you, Asir. And maybe I never have. But the fact of the matter is that in the end, what the hell does it accomplish? You'll be back at square one. That's what. So in retrospect, are you really strong? Or is that what you want the people of the Clover Kingdom to believe? Steel Warrior Princess? Such a pathetic title for someone who can't end your FOs in a more befitting manner. You're not worthy to the ruler of Clover. Then again, neither was Augustus Kira Clover 13. I never asked for the title. The kingdom called me that and I never bothered to stop them because I cared about helping the citizens, unlike you who only cared about discrimination on both allies and enemies alike. Asir scowled, feeling her own anger rise. And even then, it was agreed among us for me to be the new Queen of Clover because unlike you, I wanted to change this kingdom for the better. I don't care what you think, and quite frankly, I never did, since we both know the only reason we got married was because it was arranged by our parents. The only good that came out of it was the children. That's all. And Noelle and Nozel have become well-respected magic knights. Nebra has been improving herself for the better, and Solid is actually working compared to how you used to be. I love my kids, but anything between us, maybe there was something. But it's obvious it could never happen. So long as you kept that prejudice mindset that the older royals and nobles have, and that same prejudice has hurt too many people in this kingdom for me to stay silent and not do anything. I don't care what you think, because things will change with or without you. Get over it. Ray once again took in Asir's words. His anger began to flare again through his silence. After a long period of silence from Ray, he spoke. And that is why, like Julius Novachrono, that is your weakness, Ray retorted coldly. If I so much as raised my magic against them, our children or not, you'd take the fatal flow for them. You'd die for those that don't give a shit about you. Is that really something worth dying over? Even if people would rather not remember you, the only thing they'd remember is how foolishly you sacrificed yourself. That in of itself shows how utterly weak you have become over the last decade and a half. His dark smile widened. In the end you are nothing. Fatal blow to our children? What did you do to Noelle and Asta? Asir demanded angrily. Oh, I simply wanted to correct the family situation. Ray sneered. Why should a pathetic commoner, the one you saved I might add, be allowed to marry our daughter? A peasant like him should marry into a low-class noble family. And even then, he'd be lucky enough to get that. But for him to marry into a royal family, that in of itself tarnishes the family name. It's disgusting. It's humiliating. House Silva is the laughingstock because of you and your foolish decisions. Oh, but don't worry. I'll be sure to correct it. Asir slapped Ray much to his shock as she growled furiously. What is disgusting and humiliating was marrying you and having you in our family. She snapped furiously. You had the nerve to do something like that? Especially when we are done with the arranged marriages in this kingdom. You have no right to claim Noelle as your daughter or even to call yourself a father to any of the children. And Asta is a wonderful man, who makes Noelle very happy. And if you can't see that or understand that, then you should just leave this family. Because if you so much as lay a finger on any of them again, I will throw you in the dungeons myself and let you rot there for the rest of your life. Oh Asir. Ray sneered while speaking in a mocking voice. Your threats mean nothing to me. Water magic, stingray needles. Several stingray stingers made out of water appeared and fired at Asir. Due to the enclosed space of the office, Asir couldn't evade all of them in time, least without damaging her body another way by breaking some things within her personal office. In the end, 5 of the sharp water magic stingray stingers pierced her clothes and into her skin, 1 each for her arms and legs, and the 5th pierced her in the chest area. Ah, she cried out, falling to the floor of the office and writhed in pain. What the hell, haha. Those needles right there are filled with a special poison, Ray explained. You see, should they make contact with someone that has magic, it prevents them from using magic for 1 hour equal to the number of needles that made contact with their target S. Since 5 of them hit you, enjoy not being able to cast magic for 5 hours. His grin widened. That gives me plenty of time to do whatever I need to ensure that House Silva regains its pride and glory. You coward, Asir hissed furiously. Coward? Ray repeated. Cowardice is a harsh word. I prefer to call it outsmarting you. Besides, that implies that I intended to fight you from the start. which I didn't. I just needed to incapacitate you long enough to complete what I needed to do. No one will let you do it, Asir hissed, wincing from the pain caused by Ray's stingray needle's water magic spell. Oh, it's not a matter of who, but when, Ray grinned maliciously. And you know, perhaps I should send you to an early grave after all that lip you gave me earlier and everything. I'll make sure no one remembers you for your great deeds. But as a foolish and weak ruler who couldn't accomplish anything in her lifetime, once a weakling, always a weakling, he created a lance via his water magic and pointed it at Asir. Now time to die, wretch. Then you must be talking about yourself. Ray turned just to be slugged, and flew across the room, crashing to the wall and creating a hole as he coughed blood. Oh, I am so glad Cain gave me that call. Asir looked up and meeped to feel fury and rage as Ren walked in. Her bright green eyes cold as ice and just as sharp, her sword already out. She's mad. Asir paled, seeing Ray stand in front of the hole in the wall she herself created. Ray grunted and looked up to see Ren standing over him. Chi, you, Ray hissed angrily, but before he could finish, Ren stomped his chest, causing him to cough and gasp to see the point of the sword. You just tried to kill the Queen of Clover. That is an act of treason and punishable by death, Ren stated, a cold yet cruel smirk on her face. And I happen to be a royal myself, so no one would dare stop me from executing you myself. Really, especially when I just heard you tried to attack the heads of the Silva House. Oh my, such unlawful actions you have caused. Ray just scoffed at Ren's words. Call it whatever you want, Ray remarked. Regardless, I've done what I've needed to get done. I can just make my report to the Wizard King elsewhere. Until we meet again, I bid you all farewell. And with that, he allowed himself to fall backwards out of the hole in the wall Ren created by slugging him into it. That arrogant son of a, Ren snarled, before going to Asir. Are you alright? Asir winced as she tried to sit up, but the pain was becoming too much to bear, and she laid down on the floor of her office. It's my fault for not seeing it. I could have defended myself, but I didn't. I'm sorry you had to stop your training with the Blue Rose Knights and Black Bulls just to come to my aid. Asir, I was coming with or without helping you. Because Cain told me what happened back at the Silva House. That son of a bitch nearly attacked Noelle and Asta if Cain didn't stop him. And Noelle is pregnant, and the fucker knew that. And that he had the audacity to spew bullshit like that. Fuck him and fuck his crap. Ren snarled in fury. I'm finding Julius and Damnatio and telling them what happened. And if Damnatio tries to stop or talk, I'll cold judge on this. Then I'm gonna make him wish he was never, ever born. He'll realize I was practically going easy on the Golden Dawn when I'm through with him, if he even tries. Because I am sick of these no-good, arrogant, piece of shit nobles and royals with their stupidity on this bullshit. You'd think they'd learn anything after what happened to their piece of shit of a king. But no, they don't learn a damn thing and think they can still go about acting like this. Well, screw that. I am done with their bullshit. And your soon-to-be ex-husband is first on the list. Ren, Asir spoke softly. And don't you dare say it's your fault. Because it is not. It's the fault of those arrogant masses who can't accept the change, and if they want to be like shitty bastards about it, then fine. They'll learn the hard way that their actions are unacceptable. And if I have to drag Damnatio on it, then so be it. Ren scowled. Because his bullshit I am so done with. Nobility. Fucking. Damn. Yeah. Don't bother trying to say otherwise, Faye muttered to Asir, flying to her ear. There is no stopping her when she is like this. She is going head hunting, and all you can do is pray for mercy for Damnatio, and hope he doesn't say anything stupid. Though it seemed that Asir didn't hear Faye. Instead, she was now lost in her own thoughts. Oh, and crying. Ren, Asir spoke softly. What's wrong with me? Queen Asir thought. I'm a strong woman, so why is that Ray's words are suddenly now hurting? Am I just not strong enough? Oi. Asir meeped to have her forehead flicked and looked up at a deadpanning Ren. None of that. No bad thoughts. That man was just a piece of shit of a coward. Don't listen to a damn word he says, got it? He's just a bastard who never deserved you or your kids. Remember that. And mark my words, he will get what's coming to him once I get a hold on him. Okay, Ren, Queen Asir softly replied. She tried to use her right hand to pull out water magic needles out of her right arm, only to cry out in pain as a result. She hissed as blood trickled out of the wound, and down her arm due to her attempt to remove it herself. Yeah, you're going to see Owen. I'll have a Seraph Knight carry you to him while I go see Julius and Damnatio. Ren frowned, standing her grimoire out. That won't be necessary, Ren, Asir remarked softly. I can just use my steel recovery magic, steel maiden's mending embrace to heal myself. Forget it, you're seeing Owen. Ren frowned in finality, a seraph knight already forming. You just need to focus on healing, and get some rest. You no doubt just finished your paperwork, and had to deal with that bastard, so you're both physically and mentally exhausted. Queen Aesir only meeped in response as the seraph knight Ren created picked her up gently so as to not aggravate the wounds inflicted to her by Ray earlier. And I better not hear about you trying to get out of bed either, Ren added. Thus this made Aesir meep again as she was carried off. Now then, Ren growled lowly, time for another chat. Julius and Damnatio, who were in discussion, looked up in surprise at the doors being swung open and Julius gulped to see a very furious Ren. Hello Ren, Julius replied, albeit with nervousness in his voice. What brings you here, Ray Silva? That piece of shit crap, bastard of a husband and father, Ren snarled, slamming the doors shut with great force. I got a call from Kane finding out that the bastard attacked Noelle and Asta, just because she married him, who is a commoner, and let me remind you that Noelle is pregnant. You know what that means, don't you? That fucker attacked his pregnant daughter just for marrying a commoner, and then I come here to listen to an argument between him and Aesir and you know what he did? He attacked and nearly murdered Aesir. If I hadn't shown up, you lot would have had a dead queen on your hands. Damnatio and Julius looked at each other, nervousness clearly shown on their faces. They were so nervous in fact, that they were uncertain on what to say. So here's what's gonna happen, Ren snarled, pointing at Damnatio. You are gonna divorce that fucker and Aesir effective at once right the fuck now and make it a point that he is branded a criminal for the attempted murder of his wife and queen of this damn kingdom. Ren then points to Julius, and you will strip him of his titles, every last one of them, and inform every Magic Knight squad that he is a criminal and to either be caught dead or alive. I don't give a damn, 'cause if they don't kill that bastard, I will. Am I clear? Both men nodded silently in agreement at Ren's words, though, after about a minute of silence, Damnatio coughed before speaking up. Well, actually, Damnatio began, in regards to him and Aesir being divorced, you can thank Aesir's mother for that. They've been divorced for the past 15 years. Ray was just never informed due to some mission he's been on. Finally, someone with a fucking brain in this parliament, Ren roared. Now make that bastard as an example, because I know there are other dipshit royals and nobles who still think they can still carry on during the time that piece of shit of a king was ruling this kingdom, just like Ray fucking Silva. Well, too fucking bad for them. Got it. Yes. Both Damnatio and Julius stammered out, fearing for their lives in regards to Ren's angry-fueled words. They'd rather not anger the Elysia elf tribe leader more than she already is at the given moment. Good. I'm glad we had this little chat, Ren said with a dark fang grin. With that she left, slamming the door shut behind her with a crack. Once they were sure she was gone, they both collapsed out of breath. That conversation just made me want to retire sooner. Damnatio spoke softly, trying to get out of his scared state of mind. How do you think I feel? Julius whined, petrified. Powerful time magic be darned. She could kill me if she wanted to. You mean the both of us? Damnatio deadpanned. But yes, I fully agree with that statement all the same. Think everyone in the kingdom felt it? Julius asked. Those with strong magic and monosensory. Yes, Damnatio replied, which means all the captains will show up, hence I can quickly do what Ren said or else she will hunt me down. Julius sighed. Yeah, sounds about right, Damnatio remarked. You better do the same, especially when you know you're not her all-time favorite person, Julius replied, while Damnatio paled slightly. All right, Damnatio muttered, standing up. All right, I'll be going to get that done now. After checking on Aesir in the Clover Castle's infirmary, Ren went back to the Silva house to check on Asta and Noelle, her anger slowly subsiding, but still there as she went inside and blinked to find it dead silent. What in the? She blinked, looking around, probably waiting for the magic bomb to go off. Faye muttered. Faye, shut up. Ren scowled, as she walked inside. Guys, where are you? Then she heard footsteps coming down the stairs, making her look up to see Alina coming down, with Lieb coming down behind Alina as if using her as a shield. Alina took notice of Ren and nodded at her. Hey chief, Alina replied. Lieb, what the heck are you doing? Ren deadpanned. What does it look like I'm doing? Lieb asked. Hiding behind someone way shorter than you. Ren replied. Look, I needed a shield to hide behind because of the anger we picked up coming from the Clover Castle, and considering it was you, well, this happened, Lieb remarked. Oh, you felt that, Ren remarked, Everyone in the kingdom felt it. Chief, Alina's sweat dropped. I'm pretty sure the Golden Dawn is petrified now. And don't get me started on Asta and Noelle upstairs. Was it that bad? Ren asked. Yes, it was, Lieb answered, shivering occasionally. Your grandfather and uncle are hiding in the attic, Alina added. So yeah, Ren blinked. Huh, guess I was more wound up than I thought. Well, I'm gonna go check on Noelle and Asta. You do that, Lieb told her. Though don't be surprised if they have the door locked and refuse to get up. They were originally sleeping, after all, duly noted. Ren hummed. She went upstairs, easily finding Asta and Noelle's room before giving the door a knock. Asta, Noelle, it's me, she voiced. The door's unlocked. Ren heard Noelle's voice from the other side of the bedroom door, albeit to that of a shaky whisper. Ren opened the door, coming inside. Upon entering inside, Ren could see Asta and Noelle lying on the bed with their backs. Asta, without looking over at Ren, spoke up. Hey Ren, he spoke softly, no longer his normal, go happy self. Granted, for the time being, he would return his loud, go happy self soon enough. Wow, I must have been really terrifying if I scared you guys of all people, Ren remarked, looking over them. Ren saw both Asta and Noelle nod silently in regards to her words. After about a minute or two, Noelle took a shaky breath, then spoke up again. Her voice was shaky as she spoke. Yeah, Noelle remarked in a whispering tone. What happened? Your father made me snap, I suppose. Ren frowned. He attacked Asir and nearly killed her if I had not come in the way I did. Asta and Noelle looked at each other, then back at Ren. Unfortunately for them, their fear of Ren's anger outweighed their anger towards Ray Silva. He almost did what now? Asta angrily spoke. Don't worry. By the end of the day, he'll be nothing more than a criminal. I had Julius and Damnatio make sure of that. Ren scoffed. You did? Noelle asked, before sighing in relief. Well, that's good. Of course, if I had it my way, I would have his head stuck on a stick. Ren huffed. Right, Noelle murmured, shivering again. Anyway, I'm actually glad you came up. Oh, Ren asked. Noelle was about to answer, but Asta shook her gently, then mouthed to her, we can tell her tomorrow, all right? Noelle nodded, then turned her attention back to Ren. Actually, it can wait until tomorrow, she remarked, or whenever you're free next, outside of now obviously. You two need to calm down of course. Ren nodded, going for the door. Sure, we can talk about it tomorrow. You guys just rest while I go get my uncle and grandpa out of the attic. Right, Noelle nodded. She then frowned before adding, and please don't scare the entire kingdom again. I know you can't promise that, but can you at least promise me that you'll try not to? To be completely honest, I didn't realize it until Alina told me, so I'll try, Ren admitted with a sheepish smile. Noelle gave a tiny smile in return. That's all I ask, Ren, she replied. Ren nodded before leaving the room, closing the door behind her. After she left, Noelle turned her head to look at Asta. How come you stopped me from telling her about, well, the rules we placed, and that we plan to revoke them? Noelle asked her ash-blonde husband. I stopped you not just because of what Ren could be experiencing some leftover anger, but also because she might think that us removing them is simply our excuse to get her to leave so we can end up doing all of the work around the house, Asta told her. All in all, we put ourselves between a rock and a hard place because of those rules we placed on Ren. That and well, I don't know how we should go about telling her. We should just be upfront about it, you know, she isn't one for subtlety. Noelle pointed out. I know, but still, Asta groaned. I just don't want her to think we're revoking them just so we can do all the work. Well, we'll just have to explain to her otherwise, Noelle stated. Let's face facts, our rules were probably one of the reasons why she's been so stressed lately. Yeah, you're right, Asta agreed. But what were we supposed to do? Not put them up and stress Ren out anyway, due to us just doing all the work around House Silva? It's as I said, we brought this upon ourselves, and are now stuck because of it. Kind of makes us look like bad heads of house. All the more reason to change that, Noelle said, patting her husband's hand, and we'll start first thing in the morning. But for now, let's rest. Asta nodded at Noelle's words. All right, Noelle, Asta told her, smiling lightly. That sounds like a plan to me. No, Elfana. I promise you that no one is gonna die in their sleep. Ren was coming down the stairs, deadpanning with her communicator. It was the next morning, Ren getting a call from Elfana, who was freaked by her angry Mana from yesterday. Are you sure? Elfana asked Ren. I mean, you scared my captain last night. She basically cooped herself up in her and Mars's room and refused to come out. In fact, she and Mars are still in there. Just tell them to get out, or else you'll get me over there. That'll get them out of there. Ren deadpanned. Elfana nervously chuckled. In regards to that, I think that'd have the opposite effect, Ren. Elfana spoke. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Ren sighed. Just know I am not gonna kill anyone in their sleep. I mean, no one's dead this morning after all, right? And Jihol, I know you're listening. Make a smartest comment and I'm coming for you next. There were shrieks from the other side of the communicator, making Ren roll her eyes. Oi, Jihol groaned loudly on the other end. Granted as an apparition, but still, doesn't mean I have to like what you have to say or whatnot, but whatevers. I'll be a good little angel and say no snide remarks besides this one. Freed just groaned at Jihol's antics while Elfana just nervously laughed once again. Ren on the other hand, ultimately ignored Jihol's words towards her, and with that, I bid you a good day, Ren replied, hanging up. Geez, I'm too old for this. What does that make me, ancient? Kane asked, sitting at the table. You said it, not me. Ren smirked, taking a seat at the dining room's table. Hey, Kane crossed his arms, making a semi-pouty face at Ren. She only laughed as the others came down for breakfast, taking seats while Alina came to get a tray. Alina, did I scare William badly? Ren asked. I managed to calm him down, though I had to sleep with him for the night. Alina replied, gathering breakfast on the tray. Was that the only squad that called you about yesterday? So far, I think I'll be expecting a call from all the squads by the end of the day. Ren shrugged. Wouldn't surprise me at this point, Kane remarked, especially when you deserve it. Hey, in my defense, I never got that angry before. How was I supposed to know my mana flared out so wide to the point it had spread to the entire kingdom? Ren scowled. That's never happened before. Well, it happened, Kane muttered with a shrug. Enjoy having calls probably all day. Like I don't already know that. Ren's sweat dropped before her communicator rang and she picked up. Hello. No, Courtney, I didn't murder your parents, though in retrospect, I'm sure no one would miss them. Well, alright, Courtney replied. Still, what exactly happened last night? I made your boyfriend's father into a criminal. Ren deadpanned. Courtney blinked, then sighed. I should have known it'd happen sooner or later. Courtney sighed. Then again, Noelle wanted to do the same, so it works out. You should have seen Ren. She was cursing so much that it would put a sailor to shame, Faye remarked. Well, to be fair, she was really angry last night, Courtney replied. So I don't blame Ren for swearing like there's no tomorrow, and I don't think the others will blame her either once they learn of it. Try telling that to Amber Phoenix, Ren muttered before she shrugged. Regardless, I can safely assure you, I didn't kill anyone, yet. Lieb smirked. Don't make me get you next, Lieb, Ren deadpanned, making Lieb yelp. I'll be good, I swear, Lieb retorted, albeit shakily. That's what I thought. Ren smirked. Licked mused as he came down the stairs and entered the dining room, thus taking a seat. Are Asta and Noelle coming down, or will they be getting a tray like William? He said the last sentence while gesturing to the tray that Alina is now holding. I think they should be coming down, Ren hummed. I can walk, Asta. They heard Noelle tell Asta as he carried her down the stairs. And here they come, Faye said. And here I thought they'd be sleeping in, Kane mused. Keck, guess not, Lieb remarked, a sly grin on his face. I know you can walk, Noelle Asta told her as he pulled out a chair for her before gently setting her down in it. Then went to a chair next to her and sat down in it. But I just don't want you to get hurt. No point in arguing about it, Noelle, Ren hummed. Yeah. Noelle rolled her eyes in slight irritation. Anyway, me and Asta want to talk to you. When would be a good time to do that? Now, if you want, Ren said. Asta and Noelle looked at each other, then back at Ren. Well, alright, Asta replied. We'd prefer it was just me, Noelle, and you. But yeah, we can do it now. It's fine. What did you want to talk about? Ren asked. The two youngest heads of House Silva looked at each other again, unsure on how to tell Ren what they wanted to say. Then Asta remembered what Noelle told him last night. It's about the rules we placed on you. Noelle spoke up after a minute. Oh, Ren asked curiously. We were unfair to you, and to place them on you in the first place, Asta added. And while we let you leave as long as you told us, we could tell that said rules were stressing you out, and we're really sorry about that, Noelle continued. We just didn't know what to do, or how to go about fixing it when we first realized how stressful they were making you. Ren looked surprised at the two. Don't blame yourselves, I should have said something, she replied. Asta and Noelle on the other hand shook their heads. We shouldn't have set the rules up in the first place, Asta remarked. In the end, it just made us look like terrible heads of house, Noelle added. So as of now, they're revoked. Well, alright, Ren nodded. Bet will be happy to hear it. Faye smirked. Yes. Well, Ren's communicator went off again, making her pick up. Hello. What do you mean I broke Patry, Langris, and Alec-Dora? It's true, Litoyle spoke. They've locked themselves up in their rooms since last night. Doesn't mean I broke them, Ren replied. It does actually. Yuno's voice came in via Litoyle's communicator. Though I mean with Patry, it's just the usual, David pointed out. Well, either way, I'll drag them out of there, Ren scoffed, sipping her tea. Good idea, Yuno agreed. They can't miss training anyway. He paused, then added, speaking of which, are you free today, Ren? Or are Asta and Noelle's stupid rules going to prevent that? Like all the other times you should have been free, but weren't due to the fact that you had to do all of the paperwork for Asta and Noelle. Both Asta and Noelle flinched at Yuno's words and the harshness and tone when he said them. None of that, young man, or else I won't tell you the good news, Ren scolded. But Yuno began, but Litoyle stopped him. If you love Ren, you should listen to her and let her tell the news. Litoyle lightly scolded her squadmate. Thank you, Litoyle. I can always trust you and Mimosa to rein Yuno in when I'm not around. Ren smiled. Ha, Faye laughed. Yuno only grumbled out of irritation, but accepted defeat nonetheless. Alright, fine, Yuno remarked. So what's the news? Well, if you must know, Asta and Noelle have actually revoked the rules on me, Ren replied. Yuno just smiled after hearing that. Finally, Yuno remarked. Yep, so now you'll have me all to yourself, Ren said. So, when do you want to go on a date? Yuno asked Ren, getting straight to the point. Wow, he doesn't waste time, Faye remarked. I mean, it was long overdue, David pointed out. Heck yeah, it was, Mimosa shouted from the other side. Kek, hilarious. Lieb finally chimed in, snickering at Mimosa's words. You two should listen to Mimosa. How about you shut up, Lieb? Yuno deadpanned. Nah, Lieb snickered in amusement. Does this mean you're gonna swipe Ren? Belle questioned knowingly. Yes, Yuno remarked. Once I get off this call with Ren, I'll go to House Silva to get her. Of course he is, Faye deadpanned. Asta and Noelle laughed lightly. Kane just eye-rolled at how cheesy Yuno sounded. As long as I don't have to see the two doing it is whatever they plan to do. I don't care. Kane crossed his arms. Not long after that, they hear Ren's communicator make a click sound, signifying that Yuno had Litoyle in the call, and he's coming in less than 3 minutes, Faye replied, and hopefully get laid. Lieb deadpanned. Hey, Ren yelled. I'm not sorry, Lieb remarked coolly. Besides, your Prince Charming should be here right about. Bam. They all looked up to see Yuno, who had swung the doors open. Now, Lieb finish. Kek, here to take Ren. Yuno, that depends on whether or not she is free, Yuno remarked. Even with those stupid rules of Asta and Noelle's revoked, Ren may have other plans for the day. Luckily for you, I am free as a bird, Ren hummed. That's good, Yuno smiled, because I'd like to finally go on a date with you. After all the stress we've been under for the sake of training, it's the break we need right now. An official court date? Ren asked with a small smile. Yes, Yuno smiled brightly, though it was hard to tell how his facial expression looked outside of the smile. Sounds great, Ren smiled. Let Ren have breakfast first, Yuno, Asta told his rival. Yes, Yuno rolled his eyes, yet nodded in understanding. I'll wait outside for you guys to finish. He gave a nod to Asta and Noelle, another smile at Ren, then walked out of the house. After he left, Noelle turned to Ren, a light smile on her face. You can go with Yuno now if you'd like, Ren, Noelle told the Bluette Elysia tribe leader. Something tells me that he won't wait too much longer. True, and I'll admit I am a little excited about what he has planned. Ren smiled, taking a muffin. If you head out now, you'll find out sooner, Lieb remarked, lightly snickering at his own remark. You wanted to see me, mother? Vanica? Asked Ava, as she entered the throne room of the Spade Kingdom's castle. Ava looked up from what she held in her hands and looked up to see Vanica. Ah, Vanica dear, Ava remarked. I just received a report, and it made me think, perhaps this could give me an idea for an assignment for Vanica. Oh, and what would that be, mother? Vanica asked. According to the report I received earlier today, Noelle Silva, one of the heads of House Silva, is pregnant. Vanica raised an eyebrow at the news, crossing her arms. Vanica mused. And this concerns us how? Ava's lips curled up and into a light smile. because the children, Noelle, theirs could end up being useful to us, Ava replied. Vanica, on the other hand, seemed unconvinced. Humph, Vanica grunted. If the children are our goal, then why not just capture Noelle? Because I'd prefer to wait until they are born, Ava countered. Capturing Noelle would be too suspicious. Regardless, Noelle will probably get moved for it, and considering who's at Clover at the time being, capturing Noelle is just even more difficult. So to that end, we are to wait until afterwards, meaning this mission I'm giving you won't apply until then. Though what you could do would be to scout out House Silva from the outside carefully, and see if you can find any ways to get in and out fast. This just made Vanica pout and cross her arms even more. But Vanica pouted. Why do I have to do such a boring assignment? Dante and Zini get way more fun assignments than I do. This isn't fair. Ava just stared blankly at her daughter's complaining like a child attitude. Vanica dear, Ava spoke sternly, whine and complain all you want. It won't change my mind. As long as you capture one of the children, I'll consider it a win. Just as she finished, a ding sound went off. One of our associates is here. Her stern expression remained on her face as she spoke again to Vanica. Vanica dear. Vanica nodded, then turned on her heel and left the throne room to get the assignment given to her by her mother done. End of chapter 48. Link down to the comments. If you want to read the rest of the story, I hope you all enjoy. Goodbye.